Hello guys, it's the final video in my playlist of making authentication flow on for shifting fitness project using Spring Boot. And this last video I will going to explain access token and refresh token concept in my application. So if you want to understand authentication authorization, you can watch my previous video regarding how I have done setup of these things in authentication and authorization. So in this video, I'm only going to explain how what I've done in JW token and those kind of things. So let's get started. And I will also going to explain some of the concept of JWT and refresh token because that's important to understand the flow. So as you can see, this is the JWT service in my application. This is the secret key of my application, and some of the experienced guy might say something bad. I just want to ensure that I will remove hard coding of secret key in this code. In future, I will get this secret key from this application.yaml and in this file this secret key will come from .env according to the environment which is hosted on the server. For now, just ignore this code being hard coded. After that, I got a bunch of method. Actually, this method is something I copied from internet. So this is the key. This is the secret key I'm getting. Okay, I am generating token using whatever. So these are code which I haven't done. But the point to note is that the expiry date of my system of access token is 15 minutes. In token, I am passing this value. I am passing subject, username. The username, what is the username of my system? Is the UID. Okay, fitness folks. So this is one of the example of access token on my system, and these are the information the access token contains: the subject, the issued at, and the expiry date. In future, my access token will also contain the role of the user, whether the user is admin or user, because in future I want to do authorization also. So this, and if you look, the this is the ID of this table. I'm not exposing the ID to the end user in my system, rather I'm only exposing UID to the end user, and UID is a random UUID. So it's not, so ID is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, but UID is a random combination like this. So it will be very hard for hacker to guess the next user. Let's say in my system there is some vulnerability, okay, that from ID we can easily find all of the information of the user. This is the security loophole in my system, and after finding this loophole, I might have the ID 1 and I could use ID 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this way, I could find ID user information of all user in my application using that loophole IP which developer mistakenly coded. To prevent that, in all API, I am only passing UIDX. There could be another scenario that in one post API, in request, I am asking ID of the user, and as per ID I am updating the user details. But what happens if the hacker uses another user ID, and in the code I haven't done any authorization check whether user A can edit the details of user B, and due to this loophole hacker can use the ID of two and their own access token and update the another user details, because the ID is just 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10. It would be very easy for hacker to do these kind of things. To do which, first thing is, in my application I never asking UIDX in request from the user. I'm always taking that UIDX from this JWT token. And the second thing is, I am not using I in any API I am not exposing ID of the user. I'm only exposing the UIDX. So that's about U- UIDX. The other two things which are being saved in the tokens are token was created. This is the instance token was created at 11:28, and the token is will expire on 11:43. So this token is already expired, and we cannot do anything about it. Okay, it belongs to user are the two at yokmail.com are the two at yokmail.com. So this is the refresh token for that user. So if I try to hit this user API, I will get this exception. In future, I will update the message also, but this is an exception because the token is already expired, and j- this exception is being checked in this code JWT access token. One of the things I want to finally add regarding JWT token is that this is the encryption mechanism which I have used for this JWT token. This is the details, okay? Base 64 decode. So this is the actual details which I want to send to the front end, which will contain some of the sensitive information like subject, created at and expiry date. But the problem is what front end can do is that they can create their own expiry date, you know. They can they can just modify detail, they can modify data. What happen if the front end modify, okay, let's try it out. Front end uses this UIDX. And okay, let's do ChatGPT. Okay, just let's do one thing that what I'm doing is that in the JW token I'm doing some modification so that I can access the resources of some another user. So I have done few modification, and after doing this modification, what I'm trying to do is that I am actually this user either2@yokmail.com, but I'm trying to access this user details by doing some modification on the JWT token. If I try to authorize, log out, authorize, close, this thing will not work. This will not work because in JW token, this last data is called verify signature, and this data is collection of this data plus this secret key. If you look here, there is a code name is token valid, and there is, let's check, okay guys. I don't know where the code come from, but one thing I know is that this specific secret key, okay, if you look here, generate token, here is a code named sign key, and there is a key, this key. What does it means that this value, this value var value is equal to this value must be signed with value dot signed with this secret key, And after being signed, we will get the final JWT key with. So JWT key is the combination of value plus secret key. And what in this scenario happened is that we have modified the value, but we don't know the actual secret key. We are using this secret key, but this secret key is not the actual secret key of our system, okay? Due to which the method signature generated on this is not the actual signature which our secret key will generate. If we copy this our secret key, we should never paste our secret key like this, and we should never hardcode our secret key here. We should put our secret key on A and B. But if we do something like this and then get okay, look, so we have done no modification on the data. We have done no modification on this data. We have only changed our secret key, and the only this signature changes because using this data plus this secret key, this specific signature generates, and using this specific signature and close. I still not getting, guys. I don't know why. But I don't know what is happening. There might be some wrong algorithm which we have used. But the point is this data plus this secret keys uses some algorithm named this, and using this data will be generated, and this signature will be generated, and this signature can only be verified using this secret key, due to which without if this secret key get exposed, anyone can modify this JW token and access any resources in our system. But without this secret key not being modified, no one can edit the base 64 here and access unauthorized data in our system. So that's how JWT work. I will debug this later what is happening. But another thing to note is that, so what happens once the JWT get expired? So now I am going to explain the concept of refresh key. And there is one bug on refresh key which I will solve later. For now, I will just do shortcut solution. So what happens is that, let's say we logged in our system, and a access key and refresh key will be generated on our system. Let's copy this access key here, and let's copy this refresh key here. So never paste your refresh key here because it is very important. The thing about refresh key is that it is used to access a new access key. Let me explain the refresh key first, okay? Notepad. So how refresh keys work is that when you do login, after login, you get two key, access key, and in my system the expiry of access key is 15 minutes, and another is a refresh key, and in my system the expiry of refresh key is 15 days. And what happens is that once access key expires, the front end guy is supposed to hit refresh key API, and after the front end guy hit the refresh key API, let's say the access key is A1 and the refresh key is R1, and using in request we will pass A1 and R1. In the response, what happens is that we will get a new key A2, and the expiry of this new key will be current time plus 15 minutes. Okay, so in this way we can use access token and refresh token, especially the refresh token, in order to refresh the access token. After the access token get expired, we can get another access token which is valid till next 15 minutes. And in this, why this is necessary? Because look, we are a user is using app. Okay, user go to home screen, they will get their transaction, they will go in lots of screen, and in all screen what we are doing is that we are backend is asking the frontend to send authorization bearer in the header. Okay, but the problem is bearer is a stateless token. What does it mean is that unlike stateful, it does not store the information of devices anything. Whoever have access of the bearer can access the resources on the server. So if the bearer token get exposed, bearer token is like an ID card. Okay, it's the ID card which is used to open a sensitive door. But if the ID card get lost to some another person, the another person might use that ID card to open a sensitive door. Due to which access token is very important. And the second problem is access token is used in many places. So if your user is using app for 10 minutes, they might hit kind of 30 APIs. Obviously they will hit 30 API. On an every API we are passing access code. And what might happen is that user might be on some unsafe network for certain duration, and they hit the server, and generally this is what happened. Server and mobile or web communicate with each other, but sometimes what might happen is that server hacker a hacker might intercept between the server and the mobile, and all of the requests which are you are hitting to the server get intercepted to the hacker, and they will find out the A1, the access token, and they might misuse the access token in order to access the data, your resources. Okay, they can get hit this API, and they can get your UID, your email, your age, your gender, your profile. As per the security rule, even exposing a single details of user is a bad things. For that, what we have done is we have set the expiry of A1 as 15 minutes. So even that the hacker get the A1 access token, after 15 minutes this access token will expire. So the hacker only have the 15 minutes to use the token. Hacker at first get the token and they will rapidly just hit API. They also need to find which API to hit. They only got to 15 minutes. So this is one of the security layer which Spring Boot adds, and every 15 minutes using the refresh token, the access token keep on refreshing. But the problem is, what if the user is trying to refresh the access token, and at that time hacker finds the refresh token. So let's say you are in the same scenario and you are trying to hit refresh API. One thing, a difference between access token and refresh token is that in 15 minutes a user might hit 50 API, and in none of the API they will pass access refresh token. Okay, because once user have access token which is completely working, they don't need to pass the refresh token on their header or on the request body, due to which for 15 minutes for 50 APIs and hacker cannot find your refresh token. But after 15 minutes, when user is trying to refresh your token, they might hit the refresh API, and in body, although body is a secure, but and let's say there is no public, private, private or AES or hybrid encryption. If there is no this kind of encryption in our system, a hacker might read the request body and the refresh token gets exposed. And if the refresh token get exposed, this is very dangerous thing, because the expiry of the refresh token is 15 days, which means the hacker can access your details for 15 days. Not only that, yes, this is very dangerous. Due to which we use a concept known as refresh token rotation. What happened is that, okay, let's see from here. Okay, so what happened is that once access token expired, the front end guy is supposed to refresh refresh it refresh token API. Okay, they will send access token and request token on request, access token in header and refresh token in body. Using encryption is better. So in request, user will send this kind of details, and in response what happens is that not only new access token is generated, the refresh token also get expired. R1 gets expired, and we got a new refresh token R2, which is valid for next 15 days. So this is what happens when we refresh a token, and this is called refresh token rotation, because the old refresh token, although it expiry date is 15 days, it gets expired because it have refreshed an access token for one time. Okay, and another thing is, if someone hacker tried to use R1 token, then we expire R2 too. So what happens is that, let's say R1 token is expired and backend have returned R2 a new refresh token. If it's better if it's encrypted, some better even in login and register password. Encrypted refresh token is better. So what happens is that when R1 token is expired, and a hacker is trying to use R1 token to perform any task, this is we backend finding that the user details are being hacked and someone else is trying to access resources from the user, because they are using an expired access token in order to access the access token. In this case, what we need to do is that we need to expire R2 too. Even though the expiry date of R2 is next 14 days, R2 supposed to expire on next 14 days, but since an expired R1 token is hid in request, it might be hacker trying to user details. So for security, expire all of the user access token. So this is a security measure which we need to perform if any expired access token is being used in our system. So in short, we need to do three things. One is encryption of refresh token. Second is on refreshing token, we must expire old refresh token and generate new access token. 3. If expired refresh token is being used, we must if we must expire all refresh token of the users. So these are the three things which I believe which we need to use in refresh token, because the expiry date of refresh token is too long, which means, and this refresh token is too powerful because it can generate access token, and access token is to use authorization. So if it is an admin and some hacker gets the access of the admin for 15 days, this is very crucial things. And it also helps in scenario that the access token is now unlimited. Okay, if a user refreshes app for every 14 days, then refresh token always gets rotated and user never gets locked out. So let's say expiry date is 15, but in 14 R1, but in 14 day user refreshed, days expire refresh in 14 day. So we get R2 which will expire in next 15 day, and same thing happened, and the same thing happened we got R3 which will expire next 15 days. In this way, using token rotation, the access token never, the refresh token never expire. At the same time, we also get the security. So this is about refresh token rotation. The another things which I want to tell you is the refresh. There is a difference between access token and refresh token is that although both are bearer token, like ID card, who get this ID can access or door, but the thing is access token are stateless. What it mean is that access token have a signature. This signature which is generated from the secret key, and after generating, so we just generate a data, we do our signature on the paper and give this signature to the front end, and after that we ourselves will not save any access token in our own system. You can look any table on my database, none of the access token is saved on any of the table. Backend itself don't know what access token it generated. It just generates it, sign it, sends it. Next time any request comes, it will just verify the signature whether I am the one who have signed this access token. It will verify the signature using this its secret key, and if success, it will let user get authenticated, And if user authenticated user is trying to access specific resources, if the user is authorized to that resources, the security will allow it to access the resources. So these are the basic flow which happens in access token, whereas refresh token is something which is stored in our database, and it is not stateless, it is stateful. It is something which is stored or stateful. Why it is stateful? Because if you look at this, if refresh token is being used, if expired refresh token is being used, we must expire all refresh token of the user. Due to this scenario, refresh token are stateful because let's say in access token backend generated A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Backend generate this kind of access token. Now a hacker trying to access resources using A1, and we are supposed to expire these A2, A3, A4, A5. But the problem in access token is that backend itself don't save these access token inside its system. So it cannot remove any of the field, expiry date. It cannot change any of the expiry date in our system because they are totally stateless nodes. So this is access token. What they can rather do is that they can use Redis, and they can block user on their suspect list. But this is some different topic. But regarding refresh token is that they are saved on this table, and so if I use this token, and if this token is already expired, I am supposed to expire all of the token of user 1, so that if an hacker is doing to some security attack on our system, our user is safe. So this is one of the security reason in refresh token rotation concept, and due to this, refresh token must be stateful. They must be saved in our database somewhere so that we can access some details regarding when it was created, when it will expire, and some of the other things, and we can manually change the expiry date of the refresh token. Because just imagine, okay, because another thing is, let's say R1 is supposed to expire on 15 days, but in 14 minutes R1 is used to refresh access token. So this is what being happened in the front end. In this scenario, as per the token rotation, what we need to do is we need to R1 gets expired as date current date, new R2 is generated. So when R1 is first created, the expiry date of R1 was said that this token will last for 15 days. But when this token was used to generate new access token, we expired this refresh token 14 days 23 hours earlier than when it was supposed to expire. For that, what we have done is we have changed the expiry date of this refresh token in our database. And since refresh token is stateful, changing expiry date is possible. Whereas in access token, if the expiry is 15 days, then since the access token is saved nowhere in the database, we cannot manually expire the access token. Okay, we need to wait for 15 days for this access token to be blocked, due to which state refresh token is stateless, access token sorry, access token is stateless, refresh token is stateful, and due to this same reason, also the reason of security, which I explained here, and the reason that once expiry date is set, we cannot change. Due to this, refresh token expiry is normally 15 minutes. So that's me explaining theory about refresh token from what I know. It been 35 minutes, so let's me show my implementation. So let's me so recently I got this token. So in my code there is one issue which I will discuss too. This is about 12 this token is already expired. So when I try to access user, I will get this response. I will modify this details better, but for now I'm not allowed to do this hit this API because this user is already expired. So what I need to do is that I need to send this refresh token. So this refresh token is very crucial. In future, what I will do is that I will encrypt this refresh token. I will also encrypt this data in database too, because exposing this sensitive thing in database is also not a good practice. And on every request and response, I will encrypt the refresh token for its security. So I am supposed to hit this refresh token, and I am supposed to hit this code, okay? On controller, since the refresh token is someone who authenticated user will do, I placed it inside user controller, and this is the refresh token code. This is the method signature. In request, it only asked for refresh token. In response, it sends a new refresh token and a new access token, and it will refresh token. If you look into code, it will find user for from this security context holder, which I have explained earlier. Is basically this filter. After user get authenticated, all of the user details are saved into the security context holder, which is our data at a particular moment of time in a particular thread. And in every request which comes from front end, Spring Boot creates a separate thread. On in that separate thread, we are saving the authenticated user details. And from this, we, since the thread in which this API is being hit is already authenticated, we are accessing the user details, and this user details is being accessed from the JW token. From this JW token, we have UID, and from this UID, we got this app get user details, and we find user from actually this is the code. We find user from UID, and then we save user details on security context, and we can access user details easily using this code. After accessing the detail, what do we need to do? What we are doing is that we are generating. Okay, let's go inside this refresh token service. At first, there is create refresh token, which will create a random UID set expiry at 30 days. Sorry guys, I previously said the expiry of my system is 15 days, but actually my expiry is 30 days. It depends as per your business logic, but I recommend don't put less than 15 days as I expire your refresh token, otherwise that token will be useless. Why you are even creating refresh token at a first place? 15 could be good thing, but for the user experience I want to provide for my user, I am setting 15 days as expiry. So this code is something. So at first it checked this. I've already explained. It finds request refresh token and it's find the database refresh token. If, if the requested refresh token is valid and existed in data, we will go inside this code. If it is invalid, we will go inside this code. That means a user is trying to enter wrong details and trying to hack our code, due to which we block the user. If it is correct, then what we do is that we get the token, we check the expiry. Okay, if the user is expired, also we need to block the user. If the token is already expired, then we will block the user from using expired token, and we will delete that token from our system. So as we have already seen, the block user does not directly block the user, it will give user total 10 attempts. And but if the user is not expired, then we look here is the rotation concept. Okay, this is the refresh token R1 gets expired, generate new R2. So this is the concept which we discussed previously. So, so if this is a request, then on refresh token we must expile old refresh token and generate new refresh token. This is the code which is doing the thing we want. We are expiring the old refresh token and generating a new refresh token. In this way, the code of my refresh token works. And the guys hold me, okay. One of the problem I found on refresh token is I think I need to add a scheduler on refresh token too, because my database can be too big due to lots of refresh token not expired. What I mean is that let's say I got 1 million user and 1 million users refresh token get expired. So there are 1 million data on my table. There are 1 million data which are useless because all of them are already expired. So I have run a concept which will expire my expired refresh token. Then expired refresh token, refresh token repository, the finder, get expiry date. So any token which is expire 2 days before gets deleted 7 days before. So this is the logic which this is a concept which I've run, and this is the basic code of my refresh token. And regarding this, I think I don't need to explain it. So what is happening in this API is that, okay, let me also explain this API in short. Okay, user will enter access to JWT token on its request. So I have entered JWT, I have authorized my Swagger as JWT. That means whenever I hit any request, Swagger will add this authorization header. Guys, yeah, something went wrong in my application. Oh guys, I forgot one thing, that in JWT service, I have set the expiry as 1 second. So just 1 second after hitting the API, my token get expired, and I got that exception. If I again try to do login, I will get new token. So there is no issue of generating infinite amount of access token because they all are stateless. But refresh token causes space issue, but that also don't matter much. Oh guys, yeah. 12:58. Why I'm facing this error? EYZZ. What is happening? I am confused, guys. Honestly speaking. Select everything from user. Actually, everything is correct. Still, I'm getting error 403 because I haven't refreshed Saga. So, guys, the code is actually correct, but the git add comment demo git checkout minus p temp git log. So, due to this demo, I've done lots of modification. So let's go back and run our code. So this is a regression bug which is caused in my code because for demonstration I modified lots of code here, there. I should have created a separate branch for demo, but I've done all of the modification on main branch. So if I execute again, look, I get all of the details of user, and how it works is that we have passed this access token JWT with decode this access to JWT. First will verify the signature. Once the signature is verified, it will decode this page 64. After decoding this page 64, it will find this subject. In my application, the subject is UID. After finding the subject, it will go here, user detail service, and using the UID, it will find the user. And this load by user detail service is used in JWT authentication filter. User detail service dot load user by username, and after every security check like expiry, signature, whatever, this JWT authentication filter which runs on every request before the request goes to the controller. This filter which sets the security context, and in user service we are accessing data from the security context holder. And the final thing is that the data we got is of fitness fitness folks. So from the security context which gets data from JWT, we are getting this data. Okay, this data, id, age, email, full name, gender. But when I'm sending response to the user is getting this data. There's a difference between data from the database table and the response we are getting to the user, because I've done a mapping from fitness folk. Because the thing is that we are not supposed to expose this ID, this is block till password, even is hashed, this role, this UID. No, UID is supposed to be exposed. This wrong attempts to the user. We are only supposed to expose this age, email, full name, gender, profile, and UID to the user. Due to this, I've created a separate user detailed response. I've created a separate user details response class which maps fitness table entity into a response model. So manually build, I've done step by step and mapped UID, email, age, gender, profile. So this is what I've done. And another thing I want to say is that look, the code inside my refresh token is absolutely correct, but if I try to refresh it, So guys, yeah, what the heck is happening? Yeah, login कहाँ बढ़ाया फिर ये? So again, guys, I've done lots of modification on login controller. Right now, there is a bug on my system that is. So let's set the expiry of our system as 1. So just after token gets created, it gets expired. So the expiry date of access token is 0 millisecond. And this is the access token. If I look into this, we can see that this token have already expired. And if I try to refresh, uh, so my code of refresh token is correct. I've done all of the testing, but the actual purpose is not being fulfilled. Because look, what happening is that user service is called from user controller and user controller must be authorized. But the problem is for refresh token, user uses refresh token when their access token is expired. But in order to hit this API, my access token must not expire. So there is a problem in my code right now. So what I am going to do is something crazy. So what I can do is, so I'm just experimenting it. It might work, it might not work. So even it's inside user, I cannot do something like, this is very risky thing if I do user comma slash s, otherwise this API will also be open, anyone can access it. So now I need to specify that I am doing this for this API. Yeah, so confusing. Yeah. After specifying what does it means that now refresh token can be openly available to anyone who are accessing it. But the second problem arises is that in refresh token we are accessing user from the context. If I do something like this, then sound value dot get class sound below, something like this will happen. So refresh token is a token whose API must be able to be hit even the access token is already expired. But if we for that we need to make refresh token API open in the security configuration. I made the refresh token API open in this security configuration, but the problem I am facing again is that if I try to execute it below, which I am also just experimenting, so sorry for the problem. Just for now, what I'm doing is that I am putting this refresh token instead of here to. I will change these things in near future, but just for now, I am putting refresh token in this controller. user as this put final. Okay, in user service as a control Z. Okay, everything is correct. If I do something like this is something I'm doing wrong just for the demonstration, but I will fix it later. So what I'm showing is that I think we need to put refresh token 2 as an open API. Let's copy the request, refresh it. So now the refresh token is here. It is providing a bad experience because it's login slash refresh token, which looks very annoying. I will change it later. So guys, no anger. When I hit it, another problem occurs is that how the heck this is allowed in our system. Bellow, bellow. So the type of the principle which we get from this context must be supposed to be fitness folks. But since we are not passing access token, the type is something else. It's just a string and our user is anonymous user. Since we haven't passed any JW token, this will be the error which we will face. Now what should we do? For that, first thing obviously we need to make refresh token open. But the second thing I believe is that we need to ask UID in services, and in here param header spring boot access data from header authorization authorization string. So we are asking authorization in header, and then let's go inside this code. 0 to 60 filter. This is a bad practice, but for now I'm just copy pasting. I should have made some generic codes. Authori author authorization. Oh, no. So my explanation video is completed. Now it's more of a video like code with Aradhya. No. Uh, throw custom exception. No authorization header found. HTTP. After that, we got this authorization controller authorization, comma, refresh token. Let's go inside here. Let's again copy paste the code, guy. As a developer, you must be very good at copy pasting code because that's what we do most of the time. authorization. But they are making it too hard for me to copy paste the code. I get what it's. This is how I get it. Var user is equal to user repo dot get find by UID. Uh, if user is present, throw embedded token. No. So guys, I'm coding. When I coding, I don't talk. So just listen to the music and watch me code. Yo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So guys, I have done the coding. So let's make a separate controller. Refresh token controller. I will refactor this code later. For now, let's just copy. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. And refresh. Let's try refresh. And let's go here. Let's go code here. Let's go 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 here. No. When I'm copy pasting, I don't even look at the code. I just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Yo, copy paste, copy paste. No. So guys, from your live eyes, you have seen me coding. I am an era when there used to be no ChatGPT. So in my development, 95% of time I code using Stack Overflow. Only 5% of time when I need to do some redundant tasks, I got some kind of data and I have to read. Then only I use ChatGPT. If I need to do any of the logical tasks, I always do it myself or use Stack Overflow. I also recommend you guys not using ChatGPT much because it really impact your learning journey. It's not good, guys. No. So I can remove this because when I put this, it is happening refresh slash replace token. But the interface I want, so controller is a presentation layer. The interface I want to provide is auth. No, not auth. Guys, sorry guys. Refresh configuration. Yeah, you're a dumbass. In future, I will provide interface where in user controller itself there will be refresh token, but that refresh token will be open because that refresh token will get the authorization from the header, something like this. Okay, so let's try this code out. Let's log in, try it out. Aradhya2@yahoo.com. Here the access token, and as you can see, this access token is already expired because the expiry is the time when it's created. Now In authorization, bearer in refresh token, I am passing this. So now let's modify our code and in code change such a way that now the refresh token won't get expired too fast. Zero FT service, where is zero FT service? Let's put expiry code Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl C. I don't know whether my code will run. Let's start one time now, then only change. Oh, guys, I am such genius here. Oh, guys, this thing is not working. Requested header authorization. Authorization. Better. So let's try this thing in search Postman instead. At first, I will close my presentation because Postman is sensitive. So hello guys, I am in Postman. I just copied this URL. I just pasted it on authorization. I added bearer token, and the token which I pasted is this, and here. What is happening, guys? My ear is hurting. Yeah, cannot send. So I think I need to pause my video because this token get exposed on my video. Monday, December 2. Oh, this token is already expired. Monday, December 2. It was created Monday, December 1. 2. It's not my token. Oh, it's my token because. So guys, I was being scared that my own token is expired. It is. Oh, what the expired token was my token. So I mistakenly exposed my own token on this video. Send. So I'm getting forbidden error. I'm confused why. Okay, if I don't pass any token, then what happened? Forbidden. So this video will be long because I'm not only explaining, I'm also doing a live demonstration. My ears are hurting due to headphone excessive use. So guys, I give up this time and what I'm asking authorization 1, 2, 3. Since I'm not a backend developer, that's why I don't know how to fix these things. For now, in header, in authorization 1, 2, 3, I will pass bearer. So guys, I think I'm getting error here. In user service, there is extract UAT claim token. So guys, I give up guys. I will fix this later and fix my code. I will just crop this video. I will not crop this video, but guys, that's all. In only part I explained access token and refresh token. Now the problem I faced was this loop. I could have searched Google, but I found it boring. So instead of giving up, what I can do is that I can find a shortcut. For now, it don't need any authorization. It will just this old code useless. I should have committed and done, but whatever. User report find refresh token, refresh token, refresh token service dot find. So I'm doing a bad code right here just to solve this issue fast. So this is just a temporary fix. I don't get to be blocked by Spring security. I want to show the other implementation which I have provided. So let's try Postman because I love Postman more than Swagger. If I send this, look, in request body I passed DD named refresh token. Now I'm getting a new refresh token. If I hit this API again, I will get this message refresh token is expired because every time I use a refresh token to refresh access token, the previous refresh token get expired, and no, next time I do I get forbidden. So this is the refresh token rotation. One thing I final thing I want to remind is that every time I hit new request I will get new refresh token. And for now what I've done is that if I hit this refresh token and send it, I will get this new. Okay guys, you might get confused. Okay, let's say I hit this API one time, I get this value. I hit again, I will get this value. I hit this. Now this refresh token is already expired, as you can see, but I can still use this refresh token which was generated on second request. So what I could have done is that, let's say user login 5 6 times, and every time I could have returned the same refresh token, but every time user login I am returning a new refresh token, and every time user refreshes access token using a refresh token, that specific refresh token only get expired. The entire family of refresh token will not get expired. As you can see, I can still use this refresh token. Last time this refresh token was not used to refresh the access token, and we can successfully get a new value. But whereas if a hacker tries to do this, if expired to refresh token is being used, in this scenario I will implement a case that all of the refresh token family, all refresh token family gets expired, but all refresh token family won't get expired because my app supports multiple user, only that access token gets expired. What I mean is that, let's say in our app there is a app 1 iPhone, app 2 Android. So in this device get access token A1, and this device get access token. See, this iPhone, this get I1, this is get A1. Okay, this device tries to refresh token. After refreshing, it will get new I2, and when it and I1 get expired. Okay, but A1 is not expired yet. Even it's the same user ID one, even it's the same user. They belongs to same family. The only access token which is used to refresh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, only the refresh token which is used to refresh the access token get expired. Its entire family won't get expired. If I try to refresh, I will get A2. But now, if a hacker try to use I2 or A1, if they use any one of these, you know, entire family of A2 will get expired because our system is on a great attack. In both, the fronting guy must log out to user because on every request they will get on authenticated. They must log out user from our system because user is already expired from our system. So that's the difference between this all refresh token family get expired, and this only the token which was used to refresh an access token gets expired. And finally, these are the things which still needs to be implemented in my app. Another things which needs to be implemented in my app is the current bug which I showed, and I gave up fixing this because this API must also ask for access token. And this API must get user details from the provided access token. But in my current code, since I am also in live, I am getting a little bit nervous. I cannot do it. Thanks guys for watching. I got a call. Let's meet on my LinkedIn marketing post. Bye bye.